So we're going to go over a few from each section since the review is a little bit long. That's fine. So solve each equation. What do I need to do first to solve this equation? Divide by 5. I have to isolate the radical, so I have to move that 5 to the other side. And since 5 is being multiplied to the radical, I divide it to get rid of it. So the square root of 1 minus 2r is equal to, what's 15 divided by 5? 3. What do I do next? Square both sides. So it'll cancel out with the square root, so I just have 1 minus 2r. And then what's 3 squared? So we said this is 9. And then what should I do next? Subtract what? Subtract 1 on both sides. So I have negative 2r is equal to 8. And then what's the last step? Divide by negative 2. So r is equal to negative 4. Perfect. All right, let's look at number 3. What do I need to do first for number 3? Subtract 6. We have to isolate. Here we don't have a radical, but we have to isolate that exponent. So what's 6 minus 6? 0. So we have 2 minus 4x to the 1/2 power is equal to 0. What do I do next? Square it. Yep. Because remember that 1/2 power is the same as the square root. So I square both sides. So that cancels this out. So I have 2 minus 4x. What is 0 squared? 0. What do I do next? Subtract 2 on both sides. Then divide by negative 4. So what does x equal? Negative 2 divided by negative 4. 1/2. Perfect. It turns positive because it's a negative divided by a negative. And they're both divisible by 2. So we get 1/2. All right, let's look at number 5. What do I need to do first? Cube it. So I have to get rid of that cubed root, and I do that by cubing it. So it'll cancel out on the right side. What is 3 to the 3rd power? 27. It's like saying 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. So 27 is equal to 3m. And then what should I do? Divide by 3. So what's 27 divided by 3? So 9 is equal to m. You could also write m is equal to 9. The order doesn't matter. To get rid of the 3, it cancels when we cube it. Yeah. Because if it was just a regular square root, we would square both sides. Yes. Any other questions here? All right. 7. What should I do first? Add 5. First, we need to isolate our radical. So the cubed root of 2 minus p is equal to 3. What do we do next? Cube it. So 2 minus p is equal to, what is 3 cubed? 27, we just did that. And then what should I do? Subtract 2. What's 27 minus 2? 25. So I have negative p is equal to 25. Divide by negative 1. So p is equal to negative 25. Awesome. All right, what should I do first for number 9? I cube it Because remember, the 1/3 exponent is the same as saying the cubed root. So it's the same thing as the one before. I just have to cube both sides to get rid of it. So what is 2 cubed? 8. So that's like saying 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And then I got rid of the exponent on the right side, so it's 2r minus 6. What do I do next? Add 6. So 8 plus 6 is? 14 is equal to 2r. And then what do? Divide by 2. So what does r equal? 7. All right, number 2. What should I do first? Subtract 9. So what is 17 minus 9? 8. So 8 is equal to the square root of 10 minus 6k. What do I do next? Square it. So I square both sides. What is 8 squared? 64. And it cancels out with the square root on the right side. So now I just have 10 minus 6k. Subtract 10. So 54 is equal to negative 6k. And divide by negative 6. So it's 54 divided by negative 6. Negative 9. So k is negative 9. You can't touch inside the radical. So like think about this as like a brick wall. You can't touch inside once you get rid of it. Like you can't do anything on the inside until you get rid of that. So we have to move the 9 to the other side first because we have to isolate the radical. So step 1 is isolate it, and then we get rid of it. So we get rid of it by squaring both sides. So then once we don't have the radical anymore, we can do whatever we want inside because we just got rid of it. So as a little reminder, step 1 is isolate the radical. So either the radical or the exponent. And then step 2 is get rid of the exponent. So we're either going to square it or cube it. So we get rid of it by squaring or cubing. So let's look at number 10. Determine if the graph shows exponential growth or decay. So what do we think for number 10? Growth. Why is it growth? Because the number that has the exponent is bigger than 1. What about for 12? Decay, because the number that has the exponent is less than 1, so that would be decay. What about for 13? Growth, because the number that has the exponent is greater than 1. And for 11? Growth. Good with those? All right. So what's the first thing I should do when graphing? Make a chart. Yes. What are good numbers to plug in for x? -1, 0, 1, and 2. So let's start by plugging in -1. So I have 4 times 1/2 to the power of -1. What does a negative exponent do to this number? It flips it. So it flips it to 2. Awesome. So here I have 4 times 2, which is 8. So what would my point be? -1, 8. Next, I plug in 0. So I have 4 times 1/2 to the power of 0. What is 1/2 to the power of 0? 1. So this is 4 times 1. What's 4 times 1? 4. So what's my point? 0, 4. Anything to the power of 0 is 1, yes. Then I have 4 times 1/2 to the power of 1. What's 1/2 to the power of 1? 1/2. So this is just 4 times 1/2. And what's 4 times 1/2? 2. So what would my point be? 1, 2. And then lastly, I plug in 2. So I have 4 times 1/2 to the power of 2. What is 1/2 to the power of 2? 1/4. Remember, this is 1/2 times 1/2. When multiplying fractions, you multiply the tops together. So 1 times 1 is 4. And then you multiply the bottoms together. So 2 times 2 is, or 1 times 1 is 1, sorry. And 2 times 2 is 4. So we get 1/4. So this is 4 times 1/4. What's 4 times 1/4? 4 over 4, which is 1. So what's my point here? 2, 1. So let's plot our points. The first one, we go to the left to -1 and up 8. The second one, we stay on 0 and go up 4. The third one, we go to the right 1, up 2. And then the fourth one, we go to the right 2 and up 1. Do I connect these with a straight line? No, it's a curved line. So my line will look like this. So it's not a straight line. You will get points taken off if you connect these with a straight line. Remember, your line is curved. It will always have that curved shape. Let's do 16. So start by plugging in numbers. So I'm going to plug in -1, 0, 1, and 2. So I have 4 times 2 to the power of -1 minus 2. So first I have to do the exponent. Well, I have to do the parentheses first, actually. So this is 4 times 2 to the power of -3. Then I do the exponent. What is 2 to the power of -3? What does a negative do to our number?
It flips it.
It flips it. So this is like 1/2 to the third power. And this would be like saying 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. So on top I get 1. What's 2 times 2 times 2? 8. So it would be 1/8. So we have 4 times 1/8. And what's 4 times 1/8? 4 over 8, which is 1/2. Awesome. So what's my point? -1, 1/2. It flips it. So you could either do the negative first, or we could have like cubed it first. So 2 to the third power would be 8, and then we flip it to 1/8. All right, let's plug in 0. So this would be 4 times 2 to the power of 0 minus 2. So first we have to do the parentheses. So 0 minus 2 is -2. What is 2 to the power of -2? What's 2 to the power of 2 is what? 2 squared is 4. And then we flip it. So instead of 4, what would it be? 1/4.
Oh, you do it either way?
Either way. Either way works. You could either flip it first or flip it after. So then we have 4 times 1/4, which is 4 over 4, which is 1. Awesome. What's my point here? 0, 1. Next, we plug in 1. So I have 4 times 2 to the power of 1 minus 2. What's 1 minus 2? -1. So what's 2 to the power of -1? 1/2. Awesome. We flip it. And then 4 times 1/2?
2.
4 over 2, which is 2. Awesome. So what's my point?
1, 2.
1, 2. And then lastly, we plug in 2. So I have 4 times 2 to the power of 2 minus 2. What's 2 minus 2? 0. And 2 to the power of 0? 1. So what's 4 times 1? 4. So my point here would be 2 comma 4. So let's graph our points. So I go to the left to -1, up 1/2. You stay on 0, go up 1. Go to the right 1, up 2. And then to the right 2 and up 4. Do I connect these with a straight line? No, it's a curved line. So there's my graph. So you need a calculator for the quiz. And make sure you are studying with the calculator that you're going to use for the quiz. So our first formula that we have is a times 1 plus r to the power of t. So Bobby opened a savings account and deposited $300 as principal. The account earns 13% interest annually. What is the balance after 10 years? So what's our A? 300. A is the starting amount, which is 300. What is R? 0.13. So remember, you change the percent into a decimal, so move the decimal place twice, so 0.13. And then what's T? 10 years. So let's plug it all in. I have 300 times 1. Is it plus? Yes. It's only minus when it says decreasing. So 1 plus 0.13 to the power of 10. What do I have to do first here? Parentheses. So this would be 1.13 to the power of 10 times 300. What do I do next? The exponent. So 1.13 to the power of 10. Make sure you know how to do this in your calculator. I will not show you tomorrow while you are quizzing. So 1.13 to the power of 10, you should get 3.39457. And then what's the last step? Times 300. So we get 1,018.370, which would just round to 37. So on the quiz, it'll be specific. It'll say either round to 2 decimal places, or it could say round to the nearest dollar. So what would my answer be here if it said round to the nearest dollar? Remember, you only use the other one when it says compound continuously. So those would be on the next page. So principal of $500 is placed in a savings account in 2000, earning 3% interest. How much is in the account in 2005? So I'm using my A times 1 plus R to the power of T. So I need A, R, and T. What's my starting amount? 500. What's my rate? 0.03. Remember, I moved my decimal twice, so that would be 0.03. And what's my time? 5 years. It goes from 2000 to 2005, so time is 5. So let's plug it all in. Always move it twice, yes. So 500 times 1 plus the rate to the power of 5. What do I have to do first? The parentheses. So 1 plus 0.03 would be 1.03. What do I do next? The exponent. So 1.03 to the power of 5. So if you put it in the calculator right, you should get 1.276815. Nope, I did it wrong. It's 1.03 to the power of 5. So it should be 1.159274. Last step is to multiply by 500. So we get 579.637. But if it says round to 2 decimal places, What does a 7 mean that I round to?
6,
6.4. We round up. So 579.64.
Diana Jean Baptiste, please report to student services. Thank you.
So anytime it says compounded continuously, use the PERT formula. Oh no, you invested $500 in stocks that are steadily tanking. Your investment is decreasing at 6.5% annually. What's your balance after 2 years? So I need my A, R, and T. So what's my starting amount? 500. What's my rate? Remember, I move the decimal twice, so it'll be 0.065. And then what's the time? 2. So I have 500 times 1. What comes next? Minus, because here it's decreasing. So when it says decreasing, you do minus in the middle. So minus 0.065 to the power of 2. So what do I have to do first? The parentheses. 1 minus 0.065 would be 0.935. Then what's next? The exponent. So 0.935 to the power of 2, which is 0.874225. And then the last step, multiply by 500. So we get 437.112. But what do I have to round to? What is this? Just 1. So 437.11. Let's look at 22. A deposit of $2,150 earns 6% interest compounded continuously. How much money is in the bank after 6 years? What formula do I use whenever it says compounded continuously? PERT, P times E to the power of RT. So remember, there's 2 formulas that you have to know for your quiz tomorrow. PERT and the other one, the ART one. So yes, R times T, but they're both in the exponent. So we have to figure out what P, R, and T are. Yes, multiply the rate in time. So we multiply them. What is my starting amount? 2,150. What's my rate? 6%, but what's the decimal? 0.06. Remember, you move the decimal twice, so it's 0.06. And then what's the time? 6 years. So I have 2,150 times e to the power of r.
Hey, David, Armand, did the class?
Yes.
Yes.
Multiply the exponent. So 0.06 times 6. So that'll be e to the power of 0.36. What do I do next? I don't multiply, I do e to the power of 0.36. So just make sure you know how to put it in your calculator. So if you put this in your calculator, right, you should get 1.433329. And then what's the last step? Multiply by 2,150. So this should give us 3,081.658. But if it says round to 2 decimal places, what does that mean?
Goes to the same.
The 5 turns to a 6. So 3,081.66, because we have to round up. So let's look at 24. Determine if the function's linear, quadratic, or exponential. What do you think? So linear is if it's in the form of y equals mx plus b. So like the x is just being multiplied by a number. Quadratic would be if your x is squared. So if the exponent is 2 And exponential would be if you had a number like 6 to the power of x, or like 1/2 to the power of x. So when x is in your exponent.
What's the exponential now?
When x is in your exponent.
So 24 is exponential.
So 24 is exponential. What about 25? Linear. Awesome. What about 26? Quadratic, because the x is squared, so it's quadratic. And then 27? Exponential. Everybody good at those? All right. So 28 through 33 is just rounding practice. So if it says round to 2 decimal places, we look at the third one to tell us if we round up or down. So if it's a 3, do I round up or down, or stay the same? Stay the same. So 5.33. For 30, this is a 5. Do I round up or stay the same? Round up. So it'd be 20.35. For 32, it'll be 10,003 point. So I'm looking at the third decimal place. Do I round up or stay the same? Stays the same. 4 means that we stays the same.
Oh, I thought you were looking at it.
Nope, 4. So 0, 4. Stays the same. 29, it's the same thing as 28, so 5.33. 31, so I look at the third one. Do I round up or stay the same? Round up, so 95 point. What comes? 38. And then 33, do I round up or stay the same? Round up, so 45.68. Awesome. Any questions?
When is that 5 you round up?
When it's 5 or more, you round up. If it's 4 or less, you stay the same.